also got a major boost from AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. The group's super PAC spent over $1.8 million to get Cuellar reelected. The U.S. Supreme Court has issued a significant ruling on the separation of church and state. The court's 6 conservative justices ruled private religious schools in the state of Maine cannot be excluded from a program where the state pays tuition for some students attending private schools. Justice Sonia Sotomayor disagreed with the ruling, writing, quote, "Today the court leads us to a place where separation of church and state becomes a constitutional violation," she said. The Democratic Republic of Congo is preparing to soon hold 3 days of national mourning for slain independence leader Patrice Lumumba, who was assassinated in 1961. On Monday, Belgium, the former colonial power, handed over a tooth that a Belgian police officer said he took as a trophy after he helped cut up Lumumba's body, then dissolved it in acid. The tooth is believed to be the only remains left of Lumumba, who was killed a year after he became the first elected prime minister of the Congo in 1960. The CIA had ordered his assassination but could not complete the job. Instead, the United States and Belgium covertly funneled cash and aid to rival politicians who seized power and killed Lumumba. A coffin holding Lumumba's tooth is expected to fly from Brussels to Kinshasa today. Lumumba's son, Roland, spoke Tuesday.
In order for a soul to rest in peace, it needs to be buried, even if it's just part of the person's fingernail or hair, so that the mourning can be completed, and this can be done through this restitution.
In Ecuador, thousands of indigenous and social leaders took to the streets of the capital, Quito, and around the country for a 9th straight day on Tuesday, protesting right-wing President Guillermo Lasso's economic policies and rising fuel prices. Reuters reports police fired tear gas and so-called non-lethal projectiles at protesters. At least 2 people have died, nearly 100 injured, and dozens arrested. President Lasso has extended a state of emergency to at least 6 Ecuadorian provinces. Meanwhile, indigenous leaders said Tuesday they will not meet with government officials until security forces are withdrawn from certain areas of Quito. Lawmakers in El Salvador have voted to extend a state of emergency for another 30 days. The decree was first imposed in late March in response to rising homicides attributed to gangs. Since then, Salvadoran authorities have arrested more than 40,000 people. According to Amnesty International, at least 40 people have also died in state custody during that time. In Brazil, a 3rd suspect in the murders of British journalist Dom Phillips and indigenous expert Bruno Araújo Pereira was arrested over the weekend. The suspect pointed police to the location of the speedboat in which Phillips and Pereira were traveling before they were murdered in early June. The bodies of the 2 were found buried last week near the banks of a river in the Javari Valley, a remote area of the Brazilian Amazon where they were shot dead. Meanwhile, Brazil's vice president said Phillips was, quote, collateral damage in an attack targeting Pereira. And a jury in California has found comedian Bill Cosby liable for sexually assaulting a woman at the Playboy Mansion in 1975 when she was just a teenager. The jury ordered Cosby to pay $500,000. The woman, Judy Huth, says the incident occurred when she was just 16 years old. She was represented by the attorney Gloria Allred.
Today, our client, Judy Huth, won real change because she fought Bill Cosby one step at a time for over 7.5 years. And she proved with the jury's verdict that Mr. Cosby did sexually assault her when she was a minor, and that he should be held and was held accountable for what he did to her.
Bill Cosby did not attend the civil trial, denied the charges. 11 months ago, he was released from prison in Pennsylvania after the state's high court threw out a sexual assault conviction in a different case. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm
Amy Goodman. Freaking Bill Cosby can't catch a break, huh? How y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, we want you to be an activist. Don't take our word for it. Look that shit up, please. Yeah, I want to talk about India, the Muslims. I want to talk about Patrice Lumumba. They touched on that a bit in the Democracy Now! Video that we just watched. He's been in the news, so that's why I want to cover it. I've covered it in the past, but Patrice Lumumba is a name that everybody should know. So I'm going to cover him again today. And you know, the weather India has been having, it seems like, you know, I don't know, the wrath of God. I don't know, but India's been going through it weather-wise, and they've also been, you know, persecuting the Muslims and other minority communities actively. And it's really weird about it because it's not really catching the news nationally, or globally. So I think that's weird because other countries do stuff like that, and it'll be all over the news. India is not. People don't even know about it or what's going on over there at all because the media is so watered down on the topic. So that's why I wanted to cover it, because I think a lot of people don't really know what's going on. Maybe they don't care, but that's okay. Whatever. We're gonna learn about it today. You gonna learn today. Y'all know, if y'all be with me all the time, I like to fart around for a bit before I get to the topic so I can get people in here and stuff like that. So right now, I want to read some comments underneath the Democracy Now! Video. This is Democracy Now!'s top U.S. world headlines, June 22nd, 2022. This is their headline video that they do. I like to watch it because it's overall news and it gives me other stuff to look up. First comment, it says, "Now, that's what I call police intelligence. Everybody's searching to find a key to open an unlocked door." Whew. That's way too serious to even joke about. I don't know if y'all caught it. Was it in this video? I was distracted because I was setting up, but I think they talked about it in this video about the guy. He was a police officer. He was a husband of one of the teachers who got killed in that school. She called her husband. He came on the scene. They took his gun and subdued him. Didn't let him get in, and she died. Now, what a freaking horror story. You know, if you're a cop and you told your wife, man, anything happen, man, freaking call me. I'm on my way. And I'm sure they had some kind of conversation like that. And this was one of those times. And I'm sure she called him, and I'm sure he was on his damn way, just like he said. But once he got there, the other boys, didn't let him go in there. I'm sure they were saying it was for his protection. But then how can you, in that situation right there, that's so domestic. And then that's his wife in there, like, with some kids and shit. Like, even if he wanted to run up and, like, get done up, I think you should let him do it. Back him up, though. Back him up. Hold his back. And that's what should have happened, I think. This is hindsight's the best sight, right? I don't know. I don't know why they made the call that they made for that. Let me read some more. It says, if SCOTUS forces this ruling to take effect across the country, then we taxpayers should get the option to choose whether we want a portion of our taxes to go to private religious schools. Also, how does this ruling work into the religious rights plan to privatize all schools and abolish public education? Man, that hit the nose on the head. And that's one of the stories I think is the most important out of this clip from the Democracy Now! Video, is the one about the Supreme Court ruling. I'll probably go into that later in the week. I didn't plan on going into it today, but that's important. So I'll probably go into it tomorrow, the next day. But so the Supreme Court is saying that it's totally fine that these religious schools get these tax dollars that should really be going to regular schools, secular schools. Don't we live in a secular country? It doesn't seem like it. More and more, Roe versus Wade getting overturned, tax dollars going to religious schools, that don't sound like a secular country to me. I think that particular story is very important. I'm going to go into that some more, but how do y'all feel about it? Isn't it supposed to be a separation between church and state? Whatever happened to that? Let me read another comment. It says, my feelings very, very sad for my brothers and sisters in Afghanistan. May God be with them. Let me read another comment. It says, we need to start a GoFundMe to donate chicken suits to the Uvalde Police Department. All proceeds go to the families of Uvalde. Ooh, again, I can't even make jokes on that. I can't even laugh at that. It's way too serious to laugh at. Another comment, it says, the U.S. announces the creation of a war crimes accountability team. Now that's rich. Yep, that don't even need to be, no comment needed on that one. Let me read another one. It says, I cannot think of a single valid reason why Merrick Garland should be overseas. He's got domestic problems at home that need immediate and focused attention. Merrick Garland. He was the one that should have been a Supreme Court justice. And then he got, am I right? And then he got appointed by Biden in an important position in the cabinet. What is the position? I can't think of it right now. Is it Secretary of State? That would make sense if he's overseas. Somebody help me with that. Let me read that comment. It says, the traditional media in Ecuador is portraying the demonstrators as violent and lazy, which is not true. These are communities which have seen their standard of living deteriorate drastically under the Guillermo Lasso's government. On 2019, indigenous leaders, after days of brutal police repression, came to agreement with them, also right-wing, President Lenin Moreno. However, the agreement has not materialized. That's why I like to read comments, because the media lies to you about everything. And it just be random ass people that be making comments. Like, what reason would they have to lie if they're not a bot? Like, this doesn't sound like a bot. Let me read some more. It says, on the eve of the military operations in Ukraine, Putin gave a speech. In that speech, he called the U.S. the empire of lies. He was referring to U.S. politicians, not the American people. I've seen this exact comment before. So it's like, see, now this could be a bot, but still, I think the comment is valid. But you have the bots that's pushing their agendas. They're probably getting paid to make these comments, because who the hell goes underneath YouTube videos every time and posts the same comments? But that's why it's good to read the comments again, so you can catch who's the bots. Let me read some more. It says, Garland should start by investigating the U.S. Another one, it says, my heart goes to Afghanistan. Another one, I was in mainland China on the 10-year anniversary of Hong Kong returning to Beijing control. China had already stopped issuing visas to mainlanders to reduce the possibility of riots. Since I had to cross Shenzhen in Hong Kong to get to Kowloon Airport, I called the U.S. consulate in Guangzhou to ask for advice. They had no clue any of that was going on. More comments. Let us be the ancestors our descendants will thank. Simos los ancestros que nosotros descendientes agradecerán. Winona LaDuke, 1959, Planet Earth. It's a quote from a book. Okay, they just blew my mind. Let me move on. Extraordinary coverage of analysis as benefits the best news source on YouTube. See, that sounds like a bot. Let me read some more. It says, the cops at the school were possibly excited to be there in force to gather and talk about cops hiding their fear by friendly chatter and false police bravado to act by arresting the children's killer without entering the classroom out of concern for their lives. The bare minimum, yeah, that American Congress. Worst stuff about bad guys is they think they're actually the good guys. You know, I wanted to make the comment because I was talking to somebody earlier, and it was like, they said, the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Now, whatever you want to say about the police at Uvalde, in this situation, there was a bad guy with the gun, and then there was good guys with guns, and the good guy with the guns didn't stop the bad guy with the gun. Bad guy with the gun still killed a bunch of people. So does that really work? This in this scenario, it didn't. Let me read some more. It says, War Crimes Accountability Team. I'm literally rolling on the floor laughing. Why are the Ukrainian forces shelling resident areas in Donetsk with some of the weapons we have supplied? Not all of the weapons, to be sure. Some of those are disappearing into black markets, like much of the money our government has sent them. Part of that is for salaries of Ukrainian soldiers who Zelensky has sent to die, but are listed as missing. So one of the most corrupt governments in Europe can collect their wages, and we think we are the good guys. Got news for you. And y'all be saying that I'm like always bashing on the United States. I love the United States, man, but the truth is the damn truth. Y'all can't keep denying it. Let me read some more. It says, the only thing stopping those dedicated officers in Uvalde was lack of initiative, as demonstrated by some parents. Merrick Garland over in Ukraine worried about Russia when he should have stayed in D.C. and concerned himself with the January 6 hearings. Whatever on that shit. You probably a bot too. I need to find a safe place to scream, then I will feel better, I promise. Wait, they detained the one guy who was willing to go in? Wow. Uvalde, I am shocked that an officer was detained with his gun, was taken away for attempting to do what had to be done. What the hell? Good morning from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. May your day an excellent day. That probably was a translation. Head of Texas Police spitting facts. Good to see him calling out the cowardly and negligent commander rather than covering for him. Well, they're saying all that shit. Shouldn't somebody be getting in trouble for that? Who's getting in trouble? They're saying all this negligence, and people die. Can you be negligent at your job and somebody dies? What would happen to you on your job if you were negligent and someone died? How come police officers don't have the same standard as the rest of us? I bet you everybody listening, no matter what job you have, if you was negligent and somebody died, at the very least, you're going to lose your job. And that's the least.
Leftist on his show. So to actually have Crystal Ball here and...
Yeah, I'm a fan of Crystal Ball too. And I'd agree with him that she was letting him have it on there. Couldn't even keep up with her. Comments underneath that video. First one. It's nice to see Crystal pointing out the crash of 2020. This is a perfect example of how Americans have a memory of goldfish. Then you get pundits that come in a year later and watch the facts and history of relative recent events, painting false narratives and scapegoating. Another comment says, Crystal, the government bailed out the rich and no one ever made a big deal about it. Bill, well, I never heard about it. Yeah, Bill, probably because no one ever made a big deal about it. Another comment says, Crystal Ball actually wins the audience back. I think she literally changed some hearts and minds in Bill's audience with her passion. Another comment says, when she said, I'll bet you're in favor of the Russian oil ban, and he kind of stuttered, well, yes, I am. Here comes that good old YouTube blood sports on TV. Let's go. The comment before that one about literally changed some hearts and minds in Bill's audience with her passion. I don't know about that. I really don't. The thing is, especially the audience, they're just laughing and clapping at everything. They agree with everything. These people don't have no spine. They don't stand on no square. They're freaking jellyfish. Let me read another comment. It says, watch this from start to finish. At first, I was furious how they wouldn't let her finish, interrupted her constantly. She was being too nice, is how my brain filtered it. But honey, she kept at it. She was on point and had the full attention of the audience at the end. Do yourself a favor and watch the full segment. She was truly brilliant. Another comment. I love how helping people is pandering too far to the left. Props to her for standing up for the working class. She's spot on. Amazing job. She exposed the BS with facts and educated Bill on the stock market crash that he conveniently forgot about. They just keep on flattering Crystal Ball. It's going to help her out on her show a lot. Breaking Points. I used to watch it a lot. And her and the other guy are the reason why the Rising is so big right now. They're not even a part of the Rising no more. Rising still gets a bunch of views, and they're the ones who built that channel. Where is everybody? And this damn light is shining the freak in my eye, bro.
Yeah. Just woke up.
Mad interesting to me. I was about to go to sleep, and this just woke me up.